You know Playboi Carti's Vamp aesthetic, you've seen the Weeknd's cinematic fits, but do you know the man who created them? That's Mitch Modes, a creative director and fashion designer who's lived through loss, addiction, and chaos, and somehow turned it all into art, style, and pure drip. His story's a full-on roller coaster. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Mitch Modes was born in 1993 in San Diego, but he was growing up in the deep suburbs of Northern Virginia just outside Washington, D.C. Young Mitch was surrounded by button-ups and politics, living in what he described as a very by-the-book environment. The area revolved around government careers, leaving little room for individuality or creative expression. Mitch's first real fashion education came through music. He studied how hip-hop groups like Dipset and artists like 50 Cent used clothing to craft their identities, observing their distinctive styles from afar and learning that fashion could be both a voice and a form of rebellion. Starting in 2010, tragedy struck to Mitch live like a never-ending horror movie. At just 17, Mitch lost his closest friend Ben in a car accident. The shock was unreal, but fate wasn't done with him. In 2013, he lost another best friend, Steven, also in a sudden accident. Then he lost both grandparents shortly after, one after the other. By 2015, even Ben's dad, who was like family, passed away on the exact same day Ben died. To top it off, Mitch's cousin Richard, the only other creative black sheep in his family, also died young soon after. All of this happened in just a few years. Think about that. More loss in his early 20s than some people face in a lifetime. Mitch was left shell-shocked, asking, "What the hell is happening?" The pain was unimaginable, and it pushed him into a dark corner. Mitch tried to numb the pain. He fell into serious drug addiction as he reeled from all those deaths. He was down bad, to put it lightly. He has been candid that he was doing hard drugs with nothing to his name during that period. It was the lowest chapter of his story. Modes realized he was on the road to becoming another tragedy himself, so he slammed the brakes. He reached out for help, checked into rehab and therapy. He spent a few crucial days in a treatment center and did a hard reset on his life when he said to himself, "You're too wavy for this. This is not what we're supposed to do." And he's been sober since. With a new mindset and nothing left to lose, Mitch started looking toward the one thing that had always made sense to him. He always knew that clothing was his art, and with no local outlets for his fashion obsession, he turned to the internet. Social media became his style playground. Mitch basically networked his way out of suburbia through Instagram and Twitter, turning likes and followbacks into real connections. Spoiler, it worked. Eventually, posting fit pics led Mitch to ASAP Ills, a founding member of ASAP Mob. Ills was the first person in the industry to take Mitch seriously, or at least seriously enough to let him crash on his apartment floor for a while. Ills essentially adopted Mitch into the scene. He schooled Mitch on the hustle and one golden rule of the game: these brands need us more than we need them. In other words, never sell yourself short. Mitch definitely took that to heart. Under Ill's wing, he spent about 2.5 years learning the ropes of styling and building clout. By the end of it, Mitch had leveled up from local misfit to a stylist in training with real industry cred, and probably a sore back from that hardwood floor. In a plot twist worthy of a Netflix show, Mitch's generosity opened the next door. In 2018, he met a photographer from Toronto, a guy named Ely who worked with the Weeknd's XO label, who was in LA and needed a place to stay. Ely ended up living on Mitch's couch for 3 months, but in return, he introduced Mitch to Lamar Taylor, the Weeknd's creative director. Lamar saw potential in this hungry kid from Virginia and basically said, "You're a stylist, right? Come style some XO stuff for us." Keep in mind, Mitch's resume at that point was probably just, "Can make thrift fits look fire." Suddenly, Mitch found himself working with Abel's empire. He ended up helping on the XO and Bape collaboration, and later became the Weeknd's personal stylist, turning a working relationship into a genuine friendship. Working with XO led him to appear last year in the HBO series The Idol, where he played a character named Mitch. Just when Mitch's career was gaining momentum, fate and insomnia came knocking. It's 3 o'clock in the morning a few days after Christmas 2020. Carti just dropped Whole Lotta Red. Mitch's phone buzzes. It's Playboi Carti sliding into his DMs with an urgent request. "Yo, I got a show tomorrow. I need you there." Mind you, Mitch is in Virginia and Carti's show is in Los Angeles. Carti basically says, "Catch a flight by 4 p.m. I'll book it if you need. Just get here." Typical Carti nonsense, last-minute plans naturally at Vamp o'clock. Mitch could have had 100 reasons to say no, but he didn't. Instead, he responded with something like, "Bet, see you by 4 p.m. Then he grabbed his stuff and caught the next flight with no sleep. Ready he was. He arrived in LA and stepped into Carti's world, which was about to go fully Vamp. Fresh off the plane, Mitch styled at Cyber World Show. Carti trusted him to craft a look that matched the whole Lotta Red music, and Mitch delivered. After that event, he became Playboi Carti's official stylist, working alongside his friend Joy Division and Burberry Airy. And here's the kicker. Mitch had always been a Playboi Carti fan, the kind of fan who would constantly check SoundCloud for leaks and download unreleased tracks before they got deleted. So when the opportunity to work with Carti came, this wasn't just another job. It was a chance to collaborate with his idol. Mitch says he's basically 50% of the creative side of Carti's entire aesthetic, and his vision became a huge part of Carti's Vamp image in the whole Lotta Red era. During this time, Carti dyed his hair red and leaned into a more gothic direction, embracing a style heavier to Rick Owens and Yohji Yamamoto. Fans from that era, and even now, still adore this look as peak Carti drip. In 2021, Modes helped Ken Carson shape his Project X era aesthetic and organized one of his first shows in LA. The venue perfectly matched the Opium vibe. It was held in the basement of an old church owned by one of Mitch's friends who used to throw parties down there. To this day, Mitch Modes remains a key part of the Opium crew. His signature touch can be seen in Carti's fits, and his energy radiates through every Opium live show. That 3 a.m. DM had officially changed Mitch's life, inducting him into one of the most hyped and secretive circles in hip-hop fashion. If you've peeped Mitch's Instagram, you have seen the tattoo on the back of his head. 3 bold words: "Life is war." That's not just a cool tagline, it's Mitch Modes' own clothing brand and philosophy, symbolizing all the struggles he's survived. Remember those tragic losses we talked about? This is how he made sense of the pain. Life is War started unofficially when his best friend died, the day Mitch realized living is like battling through endless challenges. Fast forward, and he's turned that idea into streetwear with a message. The message is simple. In Mitch's own words, life is a war, and you decide whether to fight or run. But running only makes you weaker. Better to fight, keep growing, keep progressing. He prints this ethos on his clothes, infusing meaning into every design. Each drop often has tributes to friends he lost, or phrases that reflect healing through hardship. It's like he's weaving his life story into the seams, and people resonate with it because, let's face it, we all go through stuff. Life is War has also become Mitch's main hustle and his creative playground outside of styling. Mitch is all about connecting with creative souls. He's helped plenty of young artists break into fashion the same way A$AP Ills once helped him. That mindset, combined with his work, styling 2 of the biggest names in the game, is what made their crossover happen. Carti and The Weeknd's collaboration sounds like something that shouldn't work, like mixing holy water with lean, but somehow it does, both musically and commercially. Their paths first crossed when Carti opened for one of The Weeknd's shows, and by 2022, they dropped their first joint track, Popular. Since then, they dropped hits like Timeless, Rather Lie, and they just finished the After Hours Till Dawn joint tour. As Mitch once said, Opium and XO are basically creative cousins, both obsessed with pushing limits and refusing to recycle what's already worked. With that kind of open-minded chaos in the mix, it was only a matter of time before they started cooking up music together. Mitch Modes' life story hits different. He lost nearly everyone he loved, almost lost himself, yet somehow flipped all that pain into purpose. He's on tour with his idols, designing for them, becoming one of them. His journey screams, no matter how deep the darkness, you can come out shining. As Mitch puts it, he went from doing hard drugs with nothing to his name to being in a position doing what he's doing now. If that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. Life is war, but Mitch is proof that if you fight through the battles, you win the war inside you. If Mitch's story got you hyped, join the conversation. Drop a comment, share this with your fellow Carti fans, and let's keep this energy going. Life is war for all of us, so let's help each other through it. Peace.